As you all know, the world is descending into chaos right now as Russia continues their invasion of the sovereign country of Ukraine. It is not good. Russia is not justified. We've gone through this a million times. It's not important. However, what is important is how the people who are not part of the government are being affected by this, both on the Russian side and on the Ukrainian side. Now, obviously, the Ukrainian civilians have it worse. However, Putin is a fascist. And just because Russian citizens, even ones that support Putin, are living under a fascist regime does not mean they are not victims of a fascist regime, which is very much what's happened here. I do believe that Putin's a fascist. I think that he checks off enough of the boxes for me. And regardless, he's an authoritarian, and he doesn't need to be a fascist to disagree with or to take issue with, but I do think that he is one. With that said, a lot of people in Russia are getting hit with some negative effects of living in Russia during all of this. The only way the West has really been able to retaliate against Russia and try to disincentivize them from continuing their invasion of Ukraine, their illegal invasion of Ukraine, is to put sanctions on Russia. And the problem with sanctions is that they don't really affect, like, Putin or any of the people making these decisions. They affect the people. And Putin's basically in this position now where either he can give way to the West and stop his invasion of Ukraine to stop the sanctions and help his people, or he can just say, well, I'm not being affected by it, and keep pushing for this invasion and either use propaganda to make his supporting base steadfast and willing to be okay with this financial ruin the country is facing in exchange for, you know, rebuilding the USSR if that's what it takes, or best case scenario, this results in the Russian people turning on Vladimir Putin because they recognize that their well-being is far from being his top priority. It'll be interesting to see, but in the meantime, Russia has been getting sanctioned to hell, which has resulted in the ruble, the Russian currency, dropping in value by a, astonishing degree, to the extent that the Russian government put in place a rule in which, 80% of your paycheck, if made in non-rubles, would have to be converted into rubles by the end of the month, and then each month afterwards you would be required to turn your USD, euros, whatever you get paid in, if you say you're a YouTuber, for example, into rubles, which sucks because rubles are worth nothing right now. A gallon of milk costs like 1,000 rubles or something like that. It's actually fucking insane. It's actually way more than 1,000, but yeah, you get the idea. With that said, companies like YouTube are also really kind of tightening the noose, and it's looking like they're going to completely ban Russian users from being on YouTube. So popular left-wing, and I do believe he's left-wing. He literally did a video where he was debating a Nazi, the Nazi Soph girl. You guys know the one? The fuckers did a video called I Left Russia. I haven't seen it yet. I've seen a little bit of it, but not all of it. I saw the first couple minutes, and I was like, whew, I need to save this for stream. But yeah, apparently he left Russia. So let's go ahead and hear what he has to say about it. I'm not going to talk too much over this. Does Nefuckers follow me? I think he follows me on Twitter.
Your favorite neighborhood Russian. Hi guys, today welcome to a
That was absurdly loud.
brand new video. In today's video, guys, welcome to the beautiful city of Tbilisi, Georgia. Yes, guys, that is correct. I'm currently in Tbilisi, the capital of Georgia, for an extended vacation. Let's just call it that for now, I guess. But yeah, I've been here for a bit. This is my 4th proper day here. And yeah, last days have been super hectic, and also the weather was ass. But finally, I'm getting to record this video. Basically, yes, the title of this video is not clickbait. I have actually left Russia. I don't know for how long. I don't know how well this is gonna go, but I did. Oh, I thought that was the Russian flag for a second there. almost got me spooked. Because that's not the flag you see a lot on the streets of Georgia, and I understand it. I guess one thing that you guys are gonna ask me immediately is why I left Russia and why I specifically came to Georgia, I guess. And honestly, there's a ton of reasons. Well, first of all, I would say that my main reason for, making the decision to leave Russia is the fact that, well, I'm pretty sure, at this point, I'm 99.9% sure that YouTube in Russia is probably gonna be banned within the next couple of weeks. And obviously, I'm a YouTuber, so that is a big concern for me. Another fact.
It is insane that Russia, at this point, is about to just inevitably lose all access to YouTube. Every Russian YouTuber is about to lose their job. It's actually insane. Every Russian YouTuber, from the popular big ones that are rich to the ones that are just getting started to the ones that are whose careers are just getting off the ground, because of this war, their careers are now over. They will never be able to be a YouTuber, not unless they move out of Russia. If you think these sanctions and these bans will be temporary or short-lived, by the way, think otherwise, okay? Do you want to know how long it's been since Iranians could play League of Legends due to sanctions America put on Iran? Do you want to know how long it's been, chat? 6 years. League of Legends hasn't, people haven't been able to play League of Legends in Iran for 6 years. Obviously other games too that are American, but I just know League of Legends as an example. Obviously, haha, League of Legends bad or whatever, but yeah, 6 years that they've been cut off from that entire industry of American games, right? Because of sanctions, right? Yeah, I think it's been about 5 or 6 years now. I think we had sanctions on Iran, yeah, and that's why. It's cringe. All right, let's continue. Anyway, like I'm saying, if YouTube does get banned in Russia, or YouTube bans Russians, I should say, then no doubt it'll be a long-standing situation. It's not going to just be over in a minute, It'll be a long-standing issue.
Factor is that I guess I'm really uncertain about the future of Russia at this point, to be honest, because these sanctions and everything, no matter what some people might tell you, they are very, very destructive for the Russian economy, okay? In some regions of Russia, there's already shortages of certain food products, for example, sugar and grains. And I feel with the way Russia got cut off from everything, honestly, 6 months from now is gonna actually probably get way worse. And also the third reason is that I guess I just don't feel like I belong anymore in a sense, When in the center of St. Petersburg, where I lived for the last 6 months, you're walking on the street and you see these banners with the Z on it and everything. I don't know, man. I really don't know about this one. And also, yeah, already the crackdown on free speech has gotten way, way harsher just, in this last couple of weeks, and it's probably only going to get worse. So I'm not trying to, come off in this video as if I'm being pursued by the governments or whatever, and I'm a fugitive. Not at all. But honestly, I feel the space for a person like me to exist in modern day Russia is getting smaller and smaller, if that makes any sense. And honestly, in a way, it also feels like the country that I loved and that I grew up in kind of almost doesn't exist anymore. It's not the same country anymore, you know what I mean?
That's sad.
Another question, I guess, that a lot of you might have is...
you don't really get, as an American... There are certain countries that you just never really get to hear the good parts about, really, because it's just everything you hear about it is hyper focusing on when they're relevant to American history, and usually other countries are only relevant to American history when we're at war with them. So we only really hear negative things about Russia or negative things about China, or negative things about Japan a lot of the time. Not so much Japan and China. Well, China now definitely, because we're kind of an economic war with them, which is stupid. We shouldn't be, but it's complicated. Japan, not as much still. But back then, we were very, we literally put Japanese Americans into internment camps, and we don't really learn a lot about Japan until we're older in school, except for World War II, So it's right? America has a problem with exclusively teaching about, American education, I should say, has a problem with exclusively teaching the history of other countries when relevant to America's history. And that's almost always going to be war, which doesn't give the most positive impression. So, you don't really hear much positive about Russia in America. It's sad.
Why Georgia? Well, it's actually very simple, because I actually got a ton of comments from, you know, Westerners and stuff like that saying, oh, Roman, why don't you just go to the EU? I got people saying, you know, oh, bro, I live in Germany, you know, you can crash in my place or whatever. People from all over the world are hitting me up and saying this, and I really appreciate it, but I feel like a lot of the people who are from, like, the European Union don't really get the fact that citizens of some countries don't have, like, visa-free access to enter the European Union. I don't. The Russians don't have visa-free travel with the EU or anything. And now, obviously, you know, with everything that's going on right now, it's not a possibility at this point, right? So yeah, I cannot just come to the EU and just move and just stop living there. I need like a reason to be there, so that, you know, I get my visa and stuff. It's either studying or work or something like that. So yeah, if somebody has a company in the EU, you want to give me a job, for sure, let's do it. But seriously though, yeah, it's not that easy. But yeah, the reason why I came to Georgia, and because actually a lot of Russians are coming to Georgia right now, is because it is actually a country that has like the best visa-free stay rules for Russians, which is kind of strange as well, considering the fact that, you know, Russia and Georgia are countries that had beef before, right? But the thing is that actually any Russian citizen can stay in Georgia for one entire year, 360 days basically, visa-free. And Georgia and Tbilisi in general, you know, has been a place of I guess, refuge for a lot of the people who are, you know, not feeling super safe in you know, the current political landscape.
They'll just Georgia will just let Russians in visa-free to stay there for a year. That's dope. Which segment are we on? The No Fuckers segment. And then we'll get to Jaden Animations next, don't worry.
Of Russian stuff. And now since the events in Ukraine started, obviously, the amount of Russians who are trying to flee has gotten crazy. And according to like the statistics here of the government in Georgia, apparently over like at least like 30,000 Russians came here in the last like 3 weeks or whatever, which is insane. You know, I guess a lot of the people are going to have a question, you know, whether I'm trying to, you know, stay here or move here permanently. Thing is, I'm not exactly sure, because it actually depends on a couple of factors. First of all, is finding an apartment, because Tbilisi isn't like a super huge city, it has over 1.1 million residents, and obviously the amount of people who came and the amount of apartments, you understand, it doesn't really correlate. So what this led to is that apartment, you know, prices for rents here have shot up like crazy. So apparently before, Georgia is actually very affordable for rents, so you could rent like a huge, maybe like 3-4 room apartment for like $500 or something. Now that price has gone up to 1,000 basically.
How to apply for citizen. Okay, I'm American. It should be easy to get citizenship to basically any country. We're the fucking best. Acquisition of Georgian censorship or citizenship. Determining a Georgian citizenship. A person at whose birth one of his or her parents is a Georgian citizen. That's probably not going to work for me, guys. A person born on the territory of Georgia through extracorporeal fertilization or surrogacy. If the country of citizenship of neither of his or her parents recognizes this person. A child born in the territory of Georgia, born in the territory of Georgia. Fuck. How do you get granting citizenship? An adult who meets the following requirements. Lawfully resided in Georgia for the last 10 consecutive years up to the day of applying for Georgian citizenship. Okay. So, you know, just go there. Knows the official language of Georgia with the established limits. What is the official language of Georgia? Please be English. Please be English. Please be English. Please be English. Georgian? They have threes. Chat, there are threes and tiny H's in their language. This is, look at these runes. Okay, this is the language that Georgians speak. Look at these fucking runes. That's such a good way to shit talk someone. Just write this symbol on a piece of paper and hand it to them. And if they get the joke, they know you just called them a hoe. Your mom's a hoe. All right, let's resume.
So yeah, that obviously creates an issue for me trying to find a place right now, because I still haven't. I understand that it also creates a lot of issues for the locals there, because, I mean, kind of like Russia, I guess, you know, the salaries here are not super high or anything like that. And obviously now with this influx of Russians here and the rents going up so much, I mean, I understand that a lot of the locals here are not even able to rent an apartment themselves, you know. It's kind of like gentrification times 100. Actually, when I came here and I posted about it, a lot of people from Georgia that are my fans were like, yeah, dude, this is amazing, you know, welcome, we're so glad for you to be here, whatever. But I did get a couple of messages of people saying, you know, go back to Russia essentially, which I do understand. And honestly, if I was like a local right now who was maybe planning to rent an apartment, and now that all these Russians came and the prices going up like crazy, I'll be like, yeah, fuck these Russians as well, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I really like this neighborhood.
I guess the dynamics of like xenophobia and immigration are really foreign to me. in countries that I didn't grow up in, and God knows I don't know what like the status of xenophobia and immigration policy is in Georgia. I mean, I will say the fact they allow Russian citizens to stay there for a year visa free is pretty fucking like progressive. I mean, like for any country to have an immigration policy like that is pretty progressive. 1 year visa free stay. That's America doesn't do that. That's for damn sure. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty fucking based, but yeah, I think there might be a difference between like refugees coming because of economic ruination because the country they're coming from is wrongfully invading another, and the rest of the world's putting sanctions on them. So now they're coming to this country to buy up apartments, raise the housing and apartment market price, and flee from the country that they're from that's doing the invading. I can understand how that dynamic might be a little different than like how Americans here get mad about immigrants. I can understand that a little bit more. If it's like Georgians mad about Russians coming in to avoid the economic collapse. I mean, the Russians aren't in the wrong. The Russians coming I mean, in the war they are, but like the Russian citizens coming here to escape financial ruin are not in the wrong. They're trying to protect themselves, but like I also think it's understandable to a degree for the Georgians to be a bit upset because like admittedly losing your $500 a month average rent price for a 4-bedroom apartment would be pretty upsetting to me, at least. Holy shit. I rent a 2-bedroom apartment right now. It's a 2-bed, 2-bath, and my rent is $1,650 a month, $1,650 a month. That is how much my rent is. He described twice the amount of space and rooms for a quarter the price. That is insane.
Well, it's like super European, but also kind of also Soviet at the same time. It's really cool. One thing that I think is really interesting, if you look at like the metro here, yeah, this is actually really sight that Tbilisi has a metro because it's like the same size as my hometown Chernivtsi, which doesn't, right? But here they do have a metro, and if you look at that logo, it's pretty much like exactly like the Moscow, like the old Moscow metro logo, which is just, you know, it's really cool. But yeah, another, I guess, issue that I would point out about, you know, that I have to figure out is actually opening a bank account, because the thing is that before this whole situation, before so many Russians started coming to Georgia, it was actually super easy for a foreigner of any nationality and Russians.
Wage over there is even lower though, too. NFKRZ even addresses this. Here's the thing though, pretty okay, Andy. So, pre all of this going down, me living in Georgia, like, a YouTuber in Georgia shouldn't get paid less for a video with the same CPM and viewership as a YouTuber in America, right? Like, if I packed up and moved my ass to Georgia and became a Georgian citizen and continued to get paid and do YouTube and make the amount of money I'm making now, that wouldn't change, right? I assume my taxes would be higher, but my income wouldn't be less. Yeah, okay, Lonnie just typoed, yeah. My income and NFKRZ's income specifically would not be less at all. The real question is, does NFKRZ now get to, now that he's not in Russia and he's in, you know, another country, does he now get to keep his USD payments he gets from YouTube and actually spend his money in a way where he's not just literally draining his finances because of the inflation? Your streaming hours would change, though? Probably for the better. If I was European and I was nocturnal, that would be me streaming during the day in America. My nocturnal, insane sleep schedule in Europe would be perfect for Americans. Just like if I had a mostly European audience, then my current sleep schedule where I'm nocturnal would be perfect if I streamed at night. But unfortunately, like 90% of my audience is American, so I can't stream in the middle of the night.
Included to open a bank account here. Now that is not the case anymore, because so many Russians, you guys understand that like a lot of Russians that are coming here, like they're down bad. Like they either lost their job or lost the ability to be paid because of the sanctions and stuff like that. That's kind of basically me. And also the worst part as well is that since Visa and MasterCard left Russia, essentially now none of the Russian credit cards work abroad. So I'm here right now in Tbilisi. I cannot pay with any of my Russian credit cards. They just don't work. They decline every time. And I'm literally only left to a bunch of cash and crypto. So yeah, I pay in cash. the old-fashioned way. And as far as
because it's written in Georgian, I can't tell if the graffiti on the walls is like is words or a math problem.
crypto goes, yeah, I don't want to beg too much again because currently I still have a bit of money to do whatever I need to do here, but yeah, I'll have my crypto wallet links down in the description if you want to donate. But for now it's fine, but if I'm going to be down bad, I'm going to tell you guys for sure. So yeah, this situation obviously creates a high demand for Russians coming in and trying to open bank accounts. And the thing is that banks here actually got pretty stingy as far as opening a bank account goes. So a lot of people get their requests to open an account denied. Banks ask for like a ton of documents proving, you know, your source of income and everything, which is fine, I get that. But yeah, like the whole process is like super random. Like the people that work the same job that like come together to open a bank, one of them gets a bank account, the other gets denied. Like it's absolutely nobody knows what the hell is going on essentially, right? So yeah, that is definitely also one factor that I think is important in deciding whether I will stay here or not. But the plan is to, yeah, I mean, again, the main locations that every Russian sort of that is, you know, in a position like me is choosing to go to, it's mainly Georgia, also Armenia, Yerevan, and yeah, people also go into Serbia, Azerbaijan, countries like that, countries that basically have visa-free entry with Russia and an ability for you to stay there for a little bit. But as far as like staying,
outside,
Georgia is the best because you can literally stay here for 360 days in a year without a visa, and this is why a lot of people come here. And also clearly, from what you guys see in this video, it's a pretty fucking cool place, right? So yeah, guys, if I'm going to be quite honest here, I really don't know what the future holds for me and if my relocation here is going to work. And I guess that's one thing I want to stress as well, is that I wouldn't call this an immigration, or I wouldn't call this like leaving Russia for good, because still, you know, last 6 months of my life I lived in St. Petersburg and I really loved it. It's such a great city, but yeah, it's just kind of not the same anymore, right? And yeah, I'm here for the time being because I can't really get paid too well in Russia. It's also like the entire situation, the tensions right now is just insane. So yeah, maybe I will return eventually, and I plan to return eventually because still, even though the situation is messed up, obviously I have family and friends and, you know, so many great people back there, and you know, losing that is painful.
That's sad.
So yeah, you know, I would say that the main thing I want to do here while I'm here in Georgia is I just want to respect the people here. I just want to respect the culture as much.
I would love for Americans to stop applying American culture and history to other countries just because those people are white. If a country has been around for 1,000 years before the U.S., it's probably different. I don't know if that was responding to me or if that was just a general statement, but that is a thing Americans tend to do. Most Americans don't know that there is a country called Georgia, only American state. Yeah, I remember I was like 11, I think, 11 or 12 when I found out Georgia was also like the name of a country.
As I can, because clearly, you know, I'm a foreign person, and obviously I just feel super grateful for the fact that, you know, Georgia even lets us in. And despite a lot of bad blood between these two countries, still a lot of people of Georgia show hospitality and not just being nice. And all the people who are my fans, who are locals here, also have been hitting me up, offering to help and everything. It's been amazing. Honestly, I want to fucking cry right now.
It is a pretty cool looking city. I like the architecture.
So yeah, I'm kind of like in a weird state. Like YouTube is not like my main priority right now because I'm just trying to figure out, you know, how to sort of figure things out here and everything. But yeah, once I get my shit sorted, I mean, I would say that, you know, this country gives me a lot of opportunity to produce content. I mean, this place is very unique. There's for sure going to be a lot of, you know,
I do like the blocky sort of like Soviet architecture style. Like that is a kind of cool style. Like that building right behind him there. I love that style. A post-apocalyptic game, bruh. I'm not saying that this city looks fucked up or anything. I'm saying that like the architecture looks like the cities in DayZ, because DayZ takes place in a like post-Soviet country.
Soviet stuff for me to film here, so that's not gonna be an issue. So all of you Soviet heads, rest assured that the content, even though I'm not in Russia at the moment, the content is still gonna be, there's gonna be enough Soviet shit for you to look at, basically. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, I guess the last thing I want to say in this video is that I just want to, again, thank everybody for your support. The amount of messages I'm getting these days and just the amount of people, you know, checking if I'm okay and everything has been crazy. And I hope you guys are gonna be here along for the ride, along for the journey. I really don't know what the fuck is going on in my life at this point, to be honest, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. It's gonna be all good. Hopefully you guys are gonna enjoy the vlogs, you know, the times of a dumbass Russian in Georgia who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing with his life. And yeah, just want to say again, thanks for watching this video. Again, if you want to support me additionally, go down to the description, you know, my crypto wallets, whatever, donate, support me, because right now I don't know what the fuck is going on with my finances. You know, I'm essentially like a second-class citizen all over the world now. My cards don't even work. It's a fucking nightmare. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully you guys are gonna be along for the rides. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
I want to make it very clear Putin's war that he is waging against the Ukrainians, this illegal invasion that he has started, it's not, I said this a million times, but I feel like it's worth repeating. It bears repeating. It's not just causing Ukrainian civilians, Ukrainian soldiers, and Ukrainians to suffer. The Russian people are suffering as well. The civilians in Russia are suffering due to the economic sanctions. And on top of that, the soldiers are suffering because they're dying. Putin is sending these soldiers to their death. Many of them didn't expect there to be actual fighting. Initially, a lot of these soldiers, when they would be captured and interviewed by Ukrainian soldiers, they would be like, I thought we were going to be met with flowers and welcomes and cheers. I thought we were liberating a country from fascist rulers and that the people wanted us here. Like that was the impression they had going in. That was the way the propaganda that these Russian soldiers had been getting fed made them think this was going to go going in. They didn't even make it clear to the soldiers they were going in to a country that was going to push back against this invasion. These soldiers themselves were so brainwashed, they were underprepared going in because they weren't underprepared, but many of the soldiers themselves were mentally underprepared going in. They didn't expect they were going to immediately be met by sheer and harsh resistance. They expected that there would be massive amounts of pro-Russia sympathy to the extent that they would be let in, essentially. And sure, the Donbass and Donetsk regions are filled to the brim with pro-Russian separatist militias and whatnot. And yes, that is most of where they're pushing in and where Russia is pushing in. But no, I mean, Russia's still, even in those areas, faced massive pushback. Substantially, and the Russian soldiers themselves have been surprised about it when you see the interviews when they've been taken prisoner. With that said, if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, subscribe, ring the bell icon if you haven't already, so YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload a new video or do anything on my channel. Follow my social media, I'll link down below, including my Instagram, my Twitter, my fan Discord, and all my other places online where you can contact me. And of course, if you want to support me financially and contribute to the Shadow the Hedgehog onesie stream dono goal, consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, or supporting me on YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, or through Patreon. With that said, no matter how you support me, thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.